I'm going to start this morning with just a very small piece of the puzzle, which can be very, very profound. Okay, some of you, as I share this, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know this. Okay, please just understand the part of you that sits here and going, I know this. Just ask, are you living it? Okay, I just want you to ask that. The moment you go, I already know this. Just ask yourself, can I live it? Do I have the ability to live what he just said? Do I have the ability to follow what I know? Okay, because that's why you're here. You're here to live this, not to know this. And there's a part of you that will continue to go, I know this. And there's a part of you that's blocking. Just be aware of that voice. I know this. I'm already very enlightened. I'm very, very spiritual. I'm advanced. These people don't know. I'm very advanced. Okay, that's your bullshit voice. Because the part of you that's advanced isn't saying, I'm really advanced. It might have an awareness of, wow, this is blissful. Wow, I'm really connecting to this. But it doesn't go, I know this. I don't need to be here. I know this. Okay, so what I want to do is we're going to do a little exercise together. Okay, it doesn't require any pens and paper. Okay, it just requires you to sit here and observe. Okay, and what the exercise will entail, I'm just going to draw 4 quadrants here. And what I want you to do is I just want you to identify, I want you to look into your past. So you're going to look into your past. And I want you to look for all the memories that you have labeled as a positive impact. Okay? So what I'm talking to you about is that these are things, it's not like, oh, yesterday I had this amazing gelato and it was such a positive experience. Okay? That's not probably it. Why? Because it's got to be something that it's become positive and it's ingrained in you. Okay? How do you know it's ingrained in you? Because you continue to think about it. Maybe it was the first time you fell in love. Maybe it was when you had a child. Maybe it was the last job you got. Whatever it is, there's something that is being ingrained in you as a positive experience. And you know it's ingrained with you because you still think about it today and you still project those thoughts into tomorrow and trying to relive what happened in the past. Does that make sense? Who knows what I'm talking about? Give me a couple of examples. Just throw some examples out. Yes? You got a new job? Okay, great. So you're excited about it. You're thinking about that, right? So your present moment and your future is being projected by this excitement, this positive feeling that you've had from the past. Okay, perfect example. Yep. Getting a new girlfriend, getting laid, fantastic. Yep. Singing in the choir. Okay, these are perfect examples. Okay. So it's something that has been ingrained in you. So what I want you to do is turn to the person behind you or either side of you, someone that you didn't come here with preferably, okay? And I want you, one person's going to become person A, one person's going to be person B. I promise you this is as much interaction that I will ask you to have with other people that you don't know, okay? By the end of this weekend, you'll be hugging people you don't know, but anyway, but I promise you this is the only time. We're not going to be doing any board breaks. I just want to give you a heads up right now. You're not going to be required to get up and, spill everything out and go, this is what happened to me when I was 4 or whatever. There's no pillows I'm going to give to you. You're going to be, crying into a pillow. The only things that I will be doing tomorrow is going through a couple of processes, the guided meditations, for you to have a direct experience of everything that I spoke about today. Today is about giving you the philosophy. Tomorrow is about integrating that philosophy so you can have a deeper, direct experience of it, so then you can walk away and live this. Okay? And when I say walk away and live this weekend will not make you enlightened. This weekend will give you the direct experience for you to become your own guru, for you to become your own teacher, for you to become your own philosopher, for you then to follow those feelings that you feel within yourself that will become strengthened over this weekend, for you to then become the truth of who you are. So the magic doesn't happen in this weekend. It happens after this weekend. Just want to let you know that. So Let's go right now, just really quick. I'm going to give you like 2 or 3 minutes. One person start person A, and the other one person B. And I just want you to share as much as you can about positive experiences that have become ingrained into who you are, and those that creates thoughts of today and thoughts of tomorrow. So positive experiences. Okay, go back to the memory and find the positive experiences. So just everyone turn around, preferably someone you don't know. One person start person A, the other one become person B. Just start to wrap that up now. As you wrap that up, just... Very good. Thank you for doing that. Okay. So what I want to do is hear from a couple people what they experienced or some of the things that they actually said. Who wants to have a go? Put your hand up. Okay, microphone at the back there.
Hi, my name's Trevor. My experiences were positive from sailing, and having that experience of having the right wind in the sails, and just that freedom that I felt at that point, to riding motorcycles and feeling a similar type of freedom. And I threw a red herring in as well. It's separation from my family. The separation from my family has been a very positive thing, because it's allowed me to have the experience that I'm having now that I may not have had if I was still attached to the family.
Very good. Thank you very much. Give him a hand. Who else? Microphone down here. Just put it on your chin.
Hello.
Yes.
All right. One thing that's been on my mind the last few years is a few years ago I created a house to live in all by myself, and I didn't have any bills to pay, and I was working at the time, and anyway, I had this really good lifestyle, and I could do the things I really loved. I went to work in the daytime, so I was making my money. Then when I got home in the afternoon, I could do things I love, and then after that I could go and meet girls, because I actually sort of completed all the things that I had to do, and I was sort of free to just be, to be myself. And then that house sort of disappeared, and since then I just can't get that experience back, that lifestyle. I've felt really restricted, and I go to work, but then there's no time to play anymore. And
okay, very good. Perfect example. Give him a hand. Okay, so what I want you to do now is we're going to do exactly the same thing, but we want to look now for the negatives. Okay? So these are things that were past related and they were negative. Don't try to get the right answer here. Just observe the answers that you're finding. If there's something you don't want to share, you don't have to share, but just observe that was something that came up. So find the negative experiences that have made an impact in your life and have became ingrained in who you are, which is determining your thoughts in today and of the future. Okay, for example, when I was 22, I lost 2 businesses. Okay, I was on the verge of bankruptcy. So when I started my 3rd business, I still had that emotion there of that negative thought, and my thoughts of my business in the present moment or the future were based in avoiding creating that again, creating the loss of business. Does that make sense? So it determines how I see today, it determines how I see tomorrow, it determines my perceptions, my thoughts. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'll just give you a couple minutes again, just go with the same partner and do the same thing. Person A, person B. Okay, hands up who wants to share what they experienced or what they noticed. I want you to start to become aware of things. Some of you may start to begin to notice the positive was easier to talk about than the negative. Some people will notice the negative was easier to take than easier to talk than the positive. Microphone over there, please.
Yeah,
just put it on your chin. Yep.
I don't know why, but talking about the negative was heaps more self-empowering.
Yep.
Than talking about the positive of the past.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Give him a hand. Microphone at the back.
Hi, my name's Julia. I found talking about the positive much more easier than the negative, because I like talking about me, especially in a positive sense. But on the negative side, I'd just like to share an experience when I almost gave up accountability for my own thinking. Myself and my friends went to see a clairvoyant for entertainment, and she told me something that was quite negative and quite upsetting. And I did attach to this thought, and I found that I was actually moving towards what she said. Not that she predicted it, it was more that I believed it so strongly that I was actually making it happen. And when I realized that I was doing that, I mentally decided to disregard it and change that experience to a positive experience and put me in the place of the clairvoyant and what I was going to say to me. And I gave to myself some really good positive thoughts, and I gave to myself a different image. So even though it was a negative experience, moving forward, it's given me a positive outcome.
Very good. Give her a hand. Thank you very much. Who else noticed that a negative was also a positive and a positive was also a negative? Put your hand up. Is that all? Let me ask the question again. Who also noticed that a negative experience turned out to be a positive experience, or a positive experience turned out to be a negative experience? Put your hand up. Okay, interesting. Who's ever had a positive experience because they met the right partner and they thought, yes, it's a positive experience, but that positive experience turned out to be a negative relationship? Put your hand up. Oh, now you all relate to what I'm saying. Who's ever thought, if only I have children, I'll be happy? And then they thought, if only the children move out, I'll be happy. Who's ever thought, if only I can get this job, you know, it's a positive experience, and they get the job and they thought, if only they'll find me, if only I'll find the next job? Put your hand up. Okay, so you now know what I'm talking about, all right? So just notice point number one, a common thread, that all positives have negatives and all negatives have positives. If you don't see it, it's because you're choosing not to see it. Okay, I'll break this down in a moment. I just want, this is not about, well, I'm more positive than negative, or I'm more negative or positive, and obviously there's something wrong with me. This is not that type of exercise. I just want you to notice their common thread. That's all. So far, one common thread, which you started to speak about, lady at the back, which was that a negative experience turned out to be a positive. Okay? Now, in her case, she's thinking that she made it into a positive. But what I'm saying to you is that within the negative, there is a positive. Not only did you turn it into a positive, you just chose to see it as a positive. Within the negative, there's also a positive. Within the positive, there's also a negative. Okay? One cannot exist without the other. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you had never experienced hot weather and you lived in the South Pole, you'd never, ever experienced anything that was hot, not even hot water. Okay? If you had never experienced what hot weather was, you would not know what cold is. The only reason you know one thing is because you know its other, you know its polarity. Do you understand? So one thing cannot exist without the other. The moment you say this is positive, you know positive because it has a negative. The moment you say this is negative, you know it to be negative because it has a positive. Illusion number one. It doesn't exist without the other. Where I'm leading to right now is to start this weekend by understanding what duality is. Duality means there's two of everything. If there's a positive, there's a negative. If there's an in, there's an out. There's a up, there's a down. There's a hot, there's a cold. If there's love, there's fear. If there's peace, there's war. One does not exist without the other. This is what we experience in duality. Duality means that your reality is of separation. You're over there, I'm over here. I want us to all be on the same page of what duality is before I go to start to talk to you about what oneness is. Okay, so let's continue even further right now and look for some more common threads. That's all you're doing here. You're looking for common thread. I'm not interested in the story. I'm just interested in you pointing out the common threads that you found. So what I want to do now is I want to look into the future. And we're going to start with the negative. And I want you to turn around to the person, your partner, and I want you to list all the negative thoughts that you are currently having of the future. Okay? And I want you, it's not about, I'm being negative. This is not what the point of the exercise is. It's just about for you to find what the common thread is. And notice the thoughts. So these are thoughts, maybe it's fears you have of the future. It's for something that hasn't happened. For example, maybe your company is just announced that we're making a number of you redundant. And then it hasn't happened, but you have this thought, maybe it could be you. What am I going to do? And again, it's something that's ingrained in you because you continuously think about it. It's something, when I say ingrained, it has a huge impact. It plays a role of being of great importance in your life. Your job may be of something of great importance. So the thought or the experience or the circumstances that are playing out of someone being redundant, and that could be you, and you continuously thinking about that, okay? That's just one example. So just take a couple minutes again and turn to the person, your partner, and just start to express those negative thoughts you have of the future. Okay, just begin to wrap that up now. Take your seats. Okay. So again, I'm not necessarily looking for a story. I'm looking for the common thread you found in your stories. Okay, so hands up, who wants to share the common threads? Microphone at the back there, please. Just keep your hand up.
Yes, while I was answering the question, I just realized that all my negative fears for the future were actually totally directly feeding from my negative experiences in the past. And the lack of confidence was feeding all of them. Like it was totally connected to everything else, also the positives.
Who else found that common thread? Put your hand right up. Okay? Right? Should be pretty much every single person. Okay? Your negative thoughts you're having of today or the thoughts you're having of tomorrow are based on past experiences. Past negative experiences. Even past positive experiences. Because maybe it was something of positive that you experienced from the past and you have a negative thought of what if it doesn't happen. What we're going to do now is just complete this exercise by staying in the future, projecting into the future and looking for the positive thoughts, positive ideals that you've created in the future. If only this happens, everything will be okay. If only that happened, I will feel safe. If only that happened, I'll be having a positive experience. So these are things that are related to the future that haven't happened yet. So you'll probably find a lot of your goals and visions and things like that, you'll probably list into this quadrant here. So just take a couple minutes again, turn around to your partner, and then we can complete the dissecting exercise. So when you finish, just turn around. Okay, what was the common threads? Microphone over here, please. Again, we're looking for the common threads for the entire exercise now, just in relation to the past positive and negatives and in relation to the future positive and negatives. Yes?
I think I found that, especially with the future stuff, it all comes down to being attached to the outcome. It's not about right now, it's about what that negative thing is going to create or that positive thing is going to create.
Yeah, but where do you think the future things are coming from?
from the past.
From the past?
Yep.
It's some negative thing that you had or positive thing that you had in the past. So you had a negative experience. So in the future, you're looking to change it into a positive experience. Sorry, past is up the top. So you had a negative experience up here, and then you're looking to make it into a positive experience in the future. Or you had a positive experience in the past, and you're looking to repeat the positive experience in the future.
Yep.
Yeah? Okay, great. Give her a hand. Thank you very much.
Hi. Yeah, what I was just very aware of that whatever I experienced as negative or positive was limiting. You know, it was limited because it was directed by the past. And
How do you find this? You've nailed it.
Yeah.
How did you find it? Why do you find it, whether it's positive or negative, it was limiting? Why?
Because it's based on a past experience.
What about, okay, so you're projecting something into the future, positive or negative. It's come from the past, which makes it limited, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's just this awareness that the limited nature of having something that I'm attached to, you know, whether it's a negative or a positive, you know, that was limiting.
Very good. Perfect. Give her a hand. Thank you very much. All right. Let's dissect this baby, this exercise. What is the point of this exercise? Let me introduce you to your matrix. Let me introduce you to what I'll be referring to as your box that you live in. Let me introduce you to what is commonly known as the prison of your mind. Let me introduce you to your reality as you know it. What I'm going to be introducing you to, or reintroducing you to, is what's not in this box, because you already know this very well. And you continuously go and do seminars in relation to things that are in this box so you can fix, improve, or change your story. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about what's outside of this box. I'm not here to talk about your reality. I'm here to talk about your actuality.